Hey guys, my name is Brandon and welcome to or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you like what you see in here, you're more than welcome to hit the subscribe button so you stay notified every time I upload a new video. Okay, let's get straight on with today's video. Hey guys, my name is Brandon and welcome to or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you like what you see in here, you're more than welcome to hit the subscribe button so you stay notified every time I upload a new video. Okay, let's get straight on with today's video. Okay, so firstly, I just wanted to say hello and welcome back to my channel. I hope you enjoyed the new YouTube introduction. It took me not very long to make, but I had to just think of something that was a little bit more interesting than Is That Brandon? Yes it is, because although that is my little catchphrase, I thought I just needed a bit of an upgrade for my intro. And I think lockdown is one of those things that taught me to be more creative, but I'm going to be doing a video about that at some point. But I thought what I would do from today, instead of having all of my videos pre-filmed, I thought I would just sort of talk about things that are happening as they're happening, and just express my thoughts, opinions, views, that sort of thing with you guys, because I think obviously during lockdown I've been very, very stressed in terms of getting all my university work done. It's now all finished. I will put a link to the blog post where I sort of showcase my third year work. And I just thought I'd go back to just filming videos whenever. Like, I'm not going to have a schedule. I'm not planning on having one video out a week. I could film and edit and release like 3 or 4 videos in a week. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort of film, edit, I might even film a couple of videos and then just release them. Because I think during lockdown, I think people just need to see more positive and happy people. And I think this video is not supposed to be sad. This video is not supposed to be demotivating. It's actually supposed to help people that are going through situations to sort of just reflect and think about what is happening so far. So I have written down 14 key points that I want to talk about. I'm not going to be speaking about them for ages. This video won't be like 10,000 years long, but they're just 14 things that I've learned during our lockdown situation, and actually whether they are resolved even is a different issue. So I thought I'd just get straight into this video. So 14 things I've learnt during lockdown. Number 1, this whole situation about schools. Now, I'm one of those people that advocates for education, whether that's higher education, primary level, secondary level, even lower, like elementary sort of level. Elementary, that's like what the Americans say. But I think for me, the plan to open schools just for year 1 and year 6, I just find it ridiculous, because year 1 to year 2 isn't exactly a dramatic change, and year 6 to year 7, okay, that's the end of primary to the beginning of secondary, but what is 1 month of education gonna do? Because if the kids are supposed to be going back in, what is it, 1st of July or 1st of June, I don't even know, because they're changing all the times. They're going to be breaking up for the summer holidays, which, again, summer holidays won't exactly be a summer holiday, but the kids won't obviously be going to school during the summer unless the government decide to put that in place. So I just think opening the schools, it is just not safe enough. I know there are other countries that have perimeters in place and that have this 2-metre rule, but if you think about it, so many people have been saying it, but you can't trust the children to not want to go up to each other and hug each other, and they might do it by mistake, but once the mistake is done, they could then have passed on that infection to the other kid, or if they then hug a teacher. And I think there was someone on the news that was like, yeah, if you feel like you need to console the children, hug the children. Well, no, that's completely avoiding the whole 2-metre rule, which has been put in place since the beginning. And no, that's the one way in which you can risk yourself the most. So, and I think for me, there are a lot of schools that are already struggling in terms of, I mean, the Ofsted reports are probably fine, they're probably getting excellence or goods through this lockdown situation. They've literally had to sort of close the entire school and to reopen them back up when we don't even have a cure, we don't have a vaccine, there's not any proof or evidence that these numbers are going up, down. No one even knows what the numbers mean. Like, we sort of sit here as an audience and as the public and sort of go, yeah, I know what the R number is, and oh, this scientific information is amazing. We don't know what's going on, and as much as people want to try and think they do, they don't. The only people that know are the government, the Prime Minister, and all the scientific people behind the scenes. So the next thing is the NHS and the care workers. So again, I think this is just another problem, that they're not receiving the right equipment or the right, I don't know, medical procedure-y related things. And I find it weird and scary how there are so many different interviews with so many different people on all sorts of news channels. I pretty much keep up with all of them, and the NHS people are saying, we haven't got our equipment, we haven't got our safety protective gear, we haven't got this. Yet the government on the other hand is saying, yes, so we're ordering millions and we're giving it to everyone that needs it and everyone's really happy. Well, they're not, and I wouldn't expect the NHS staff to lie about that sort of stuff. If they haven't got it, they're gonna say, we haven't got it. So it's just another one of those things that I think the NHS staff in hospitals, and obviously those staff that work in the care homes, they're sort of just not taken advantage of, but just thought that they can just get on with it sort of thing, and that, oh yeah, 3 masks is fine, and oh yeah, 2 of these is fine. But that's not how it works, and that is why over 1/3 of the coronavirus cases are coming from care homes, because they're not getting the treatment that they need, because the staff are not getting the equipment that they need, and then obviously they're both just at a standstill. Like, the people in the care homes are gonna die, and the NHS staff that work in the care home can't do anything, so it's just a loss there. And then the amount of staff that have died from it already as well, putting themselves on the front line, risking their lives, and obviously putting their family in danger for if that person ends up dying as well. And again, there are so many cases of that, and I think the only people to blame is the government. It doesn't matter who you have in charge of the government. I think people's safety is the most important, and if they're saying, oh, we're doing all these thousands of tests a day and we're getting all this thousands of pounds worth of equipment, well, where's the evidence? Because the people on the front line are saying we don't have it. So that's just another case within itself. Number 3 is the money for individual businesses or for individuals themselves who are just unable to go to work. So all these different bursaries and claims and all those sorts of things. And I think this is probably one of the positive ones, because I've seen so many videos that I think went viral on Twitter, and there's been people that have gone onto the news and sort of said this scheme is actually very, very helpful. I think it's called the furlough scheme. And I think there are a load of other people that are able to sort of claim money back, or just claim money. Obviously, if they're not working, they can get money from elsewhere. I think Universal Credit have had like 3 times the amount of calls or 10 times the amount of calls than they had previously. So I think in terms of that is definitely something that is a positive that has come out of the situation so far, and that although there are probably hundreds and thousands that are potentially not getting the money that they need or deserve, the more people are becoming merrier and are getting their money. So I think that one's sort of a 50-50, but I think the people that have got it, it doesn't take long to apply for or actually have approved, and the people that aren't, I think it's just a matter of once they jump on it and try and make sure they refresh that page or see what other alternatives are available for the money, then everyone should be okay with that. But I think that has been one of the amazing things. I saw a couple of the speeches where it said these schemes are the most generous schemes that this government has ever done. So that, at least that side's going well. So number 4 is celebrities. And as much as I'm gonna sit here and say celebrities have thousands of pounds and they have private teams and they have medical people and they've got like private instructors and $1 million, billion-pound houses and stuff, I still think that they're in just as much danger and it's just as much trouble as we are. But I don't know, I sort of, I'm on 2 sides with this. I sort of don't feel sorry for them because they're that much higher and that much more richer and able to afford things that maybe the lower class people can't. But then at the same time, they may still be experiencing deaths in the family or friends or that sort of thing. But I think one of the good things that I have seen from a variety of celebrities, people from X Factor, people from Love Island, people from just singers and songwriters, I think Taylor Swift, Katy Perry, Jimmy Fallon, Jake Wickenden, what's his name, Gary Barlow, they've all done sort of things throughout this lockdown, whether it be creating YouTube videos or doing singing covers with celebrities every night or doing interviews and just making sure that the communication is still going there between celebrities and their fans and their audience, and that people are still able to have that platform to promote positivity and motivation and that sort of thing for others. So I think as much as I don't agree with the fact that celebrities aren't doing enough, as in they could be donating like £1,000 each, and then that's quite a lot of thousands from, if you imagine all the celebrities in every individual place, the thousands and thousands of pounds that they have earned or that they've got of just things in their house that they don't need. I think in that respect they could donate all that money to the charities and to the NHS that actually needs the money. But then at the same time, I think just entertaining and just creating content and just still engaging with their audience is still an amazing thing. Number 5 comes back to the government again. This is the government rules, and again, this is something that I just think a lot of people are just confused about. They've released a 60-page document, which most of it people aren't going to read. Like when you see terms and conditions on the end of a, I don't know, when you sign up for a competition, no one reads the terms and conditions. They get charged a little bit extra, or you have to pay this and standard rates apply. No one bothers to read it. But I think in terms of these government rules, the rules are changing all the time. So at the beginning it was sort of, so you can't see anyone else apart from the people in your household. Oh, so you can now see someone, but they have to be 2 meters away. Okay, so you can see a parent, but it has to be only one parent at a time. But if you wanted to see your mum and then your dad 10 minutes later, then you could do. So that in itself, and then something like the going out and doing sports. Firstly, it was you can only go out once a day, and now it's, oh, you can go out as much as you want. You can play tennis with people, but you can't play football. I understand that, because obviously tennis, you're apart, and football is a lot more than 2 people. But, and then this whole thing of, oh right, no one go to work, don't use public transport, but then, okay, right, if you can go to work, which I understand. I do get it. Getting people back to work helps bring the economy back up, and helps those people that can earn money, but at the same time they're putting themselves in danger, because they're going on public transport where they're told to be 2 meters apart, but you physically can't do that on London Underground transport. So all the things they're saying are sort of contradicting each other without even realising, and it's just putting a lot of people in a confused state. So I think that is one of those 14 things, one of the 14 main things that is coming out of this, that the rules are changing. Do we go out? Do we not go out? Can we go out? And I think if we just look at what the other countries are doing, that they're not releasing any form of easy lockdown or anything. They're sort of staying in lockdown, trying to do as much as they can with everybody inside, and then once it's safe, then start letting people out. Not just finger crossed, hope for the best, I'll kill another few thousand people and then go back to normal life, because that's not how it works. The thousands of extra people that we're just killing, or the government are killing, it's not just an experiment. They're actually real people, and they actually have left their real families behind. So I think that's one thing that a lot of people are just confused about. That, I mean, the government's rules, yeah, they are becoming clearer, I guess, about you can go and meet one person as long as you're 2 meters away, fine. But I'm not going to sit there and read through a 60-page sheet. But at the same time, I'd rather the government just tell us exactly what's going on than just keeping it to themselves. And I think that's another point with all these scientists that are like, we're looking at the scientific information, well, why aren't you able to share that with the public? If the scientists know all this information, why are they giving bad answers to questions that they're asked, and why are they not revealing information that, as a public, we should know? It's not like there's going to be someone that takes that information and does something with it. We just want to know what's going on. So I feel like they're all just a little bit shh when they do the TV question and answers. But that's just what we have to try and deal with. But even the news reporters and a couple of news anchors are sort of just saying we don't know what's going on. Like, they're supposed to be telling us what's going on, but they're not being told, so they can't tell anyone what's going on. So the next one's actually quite a bit of a light-hearted one, actually. So number 6, TikTok addiction. And I think this is something that a lot of people have jumped on, including myself. I actually did have a TikTok account in 2015, 13, 14 or 15, something like that. And I think I had a couple of videos on there, weird ones where I had no hair and I was doing all this with my camera. But I think recently, over the last couple of months, a lot of celebrities have actually started jumping on the app. So you've had the likes of Diversity, Ashley Tisdale, I think you've had Rita Ora as well, I believe Will Smith. So there's quite a lot of people, and that's just only a handful. There's hundreds of celebrities that I've seen on TikTok. All sorts of challenges that are going on. And I think it's just a place where people are trying to just express themselves and make the most of this situation, and that instead of everything being negative, trying to bring a little bit of light-hearted fun and banter basically to our world. So I think that's one of the good things. And then we move on to number 7 and 8, which are mental health and domestic abuse. And again, I think these are two things that are deteriorating for a lot of people during lockdown. For me, luckily I've not hit a bad place, but I know there are a lot of people that have, whether it be my friends or people on social media. So I think for me it's just been a matter of communicating with those people and just talking to them and just making sure that they're okay. And then with mental health, there obviously are a lot of services that you could call, email, speak to. I think a lot of social media profiles allow you to directly message them through social media. And then again, with domestic abuse, the numbers are going up because people are being forced with someone that they weren't necessarily living with before, but they just happened to be with the person. It's led to arguments, it's led to a lot more than arguments, and obviously I think sometimes even death. I haven't heard any cases, but I'm just presuming on how bad it's got, I'm sure there have been some people who have unfortunately died. Number 9 is the people that are sort of forgotten about, and the sort of people that are sort of they're not really a priority. They are, but the government seem to think they're not a priority. So you've got all the way from old people on one aspect of this scale, and you're all the way down to children and young people, and then right in the middle you've got families. And I think these are the 3 categories of people that are probably affected the most. You've got old people who are obviously most at risk. A lot of old people live on their own. A lot of old people are not able to go out and do shopping for themselves, so they are therefore relying on other people. They may have people that work for them, but obviously they aren't able to go into their house because they might end up catching the virus. And a lot of old people are obviously quite scared of this virus as well, so it's not something they've dealt with before or nothing that they've experienced before. So being on your own with a health condition, most at risk, is very, very scary. And with the hundreds and thousands of cases we're hearing from care homes, people that are just living in their normal homes are probably getting just as scared because they're like, oh, well, that person's died, they didn't have the help that they need, I didn't have the help, I'm basically gone. So I think the government need to try and do more to help the older people who are struggling to do anything on their own. And then you've got children, again, completely the other end of the spectrum. It's pretty much the same. They're either with families or they're still at like university and accommodation, basically what I am. And yeah, sort of we sort of feel a little bit left out, that we're not really getting any help. And it's already been stated that the University of Cambridge are going to be pretty much doing online learning from September, and a lot of universities are sort of debating it, but they're not reducing any of the prices. Accommodation is full price, the courses full price, and a lot of people have been taken to Twitter and social media in general actually and been complaining, why are you going to pay £9,000 to just sit at home and watch someone talk on Zoom? Or Skype or whatever. And this is one of those topics that I am on sort of both sides for. I do get it. In order for the university to run, the payments need to be coming in, and at the same time, online learning isn't exactly the same as real life, but it allows the lecturers to record those lectures, potentially upload them to the group room for that particular module, for that particular course, and it can be something that you can go back to and back to and back to. I think obviously having lectures in real life, you can literally only see it once and then you've sort of just got to remember what happened. So I think the fact that it's online, it's easier to access, it's easier to record, and it can be shared with a wider audience of people. I think obviously the negative aspects of that are things like prom, things like freshers, things like summer holidays are things that aren't able to obviously take part. Placements are going to have to be done like distanced. I think for children and for even families, it's probably quite difficult because again, I think for families, they're not making money. If they are getting money from the government or elsewhere, it's not going to be a lot. And if you think about the amount of kids that they've got and they might only have like one phone or one laptop, it's difficult to get the children to do the work because they're all sharing one device. The parents don't know what to do because they don't know where to get food from, they don't know where to get money from. So I think old people, children and families are probably the 3 most important communities that sort of need that help the most, because people that are making money still, people that have flashy cars, celebrities, these people, if anything, they should be helping the people at the bottom, but for some reason I haven't really heard that many stories about that, and I feel like a lot of people just care about themselves at the moment, which is fair enough, but at the same time there are people that are in worse situations that just need that help. Number 10 is the news stories and the news channels. Again, they're trying to be as positive as they can, and they're trying to give us information on what is happening with coronavirus. But obviously, they are not being told anything from behind the scenes, so we are then not being told anything from them. But yeah, again, like I said before, there are a lot of stories, a lot of news interviews that I'm seeing, and it's just quite distressing and quite sad that so many people are coming forward and trying to give advice on this thing, but no one actually knows what's going on. And then you see people that are still meeting up, you see people that are still hosting massive barbecues and having parties in the street and going to the beach and cutting people's hair. Like, I just don't understand. If you want to do it safely, fair enough, but wait for the lockdown to start easing itself a bit more, and wait for it to be told that this whole situation's getting better. Don't do it now when we're in the middle of a crisis. So I think number 9 is those news stories that are coming out. They're inspirational because they are sort of shedding more light on the situation than if we didn't have those news channels, but at the same time there's only so much information they can give because they're not being given that information behind the scene. Okay, so number 11, I've just literally written here, masks or no masks. So luckily I'm one of those people that, well, I don't have my mask with me at the moment, it's just sitting on the radiator because I actually had to go and collect a delivery downstairs a couple of weeks ago. But this whole situation of should we wear them or should we not, and I think from the very beginning they were very apprehensive and said, they don't really work, you don't really need to wear them. But then so many months down the line they're like, right, so if you can get one, get one. Obviously save those specific ones for the NHS, get something a bit different or make it yourself out of like a sock or something. So yeah, the fact that they're sort of changing their mind about whether things work or not, but then I think at the same time they didn't know whether it was good or bad, so they were just sort of, they had to just pick quickly, right, does it work, does it not? No. And now it's like, oh right, so we've looked at the scientific evidence behind it and now it does work. It just doesn't make sense. For a mask, you would just expect it to work because it covers your nose and your mouth. That's the 2 places where it's most likely to go in. Okay, so moving on to number 12. So again, I briefly touched upon this one, the whole students, people that are just about to finish college, just about to finish 6th form, just about to potentially start university, or those that are finished, like me, university. And I think the transition is not necessarily from education to education, well, that is obviously one of the main problems, but I think for people like me that have now finished our degree, it's now what? I've been regularly I've been regularly applying for jobs, at least 3-4 a day, and there was a week last week where I literally applied for like 23 jobs in one day. I literally just typed in any sort of job, whether it be remote or in Nottingham, but in a company that obviously is abiding by these 2-metre restrictions. So I think university students, college students, 6th form students are the ones that are affected the most, because we're not getting any support or reimbursement like business people and individuals are, but we're the ones that are going to be generating the money for the next coming years basically, and yeah, we're the ones that are not having that support. So obviously for students in uni, college students, just getting into the job is our problem, but for the people that have a job, they are now losing their jobs. So I think it's just all these different redundancies and people that are sort of being furloughed and just sitting at home and finger crossing that they've still got their jobs when they go back, and then they get an email or a text saying, oh right, so we've had to sort of dismiss you of your position, sort of thing. And a lot of people are getting upset now because they're just wondering if they're a single parent or if they're a single working parent, how are they going to make money, how are they going to make ends meet, how are they going to get food for themselves, or if they've got kids, or if they've got elderly people in their family. And it's just one of those tricky situations that everyone at the moment that is trying to apply for a job isn't able to get it, and those people that obviously do have jobs or did have jobs are now being dismissed of their roles. So I think society at the moment is just all over the place, and that's why I've sort of been a bit, not distant from social media, but trying to just focus more on written content, because I can write it and get it out quickly, as opposed to having to do a video, film it, edit it, etc., which obviously I've had to do for this one. So yeah, my YouTube is going to be a little bit all over the place, and I think what I'm going to try and do from this video onwards is like little tips. So tips for being motivated, tips for staying happy, tips for staying healthy. I'll do a variety of story times and stuff as well, but I think I'm one of those people that I do want the best for everyone, and even for people that I'm not friends with, that I don't necessarily like, I wouldn't want to wish anything bad on them, and if anything, I want them to, like, obviously have that same attitude towards other people. But yeah, I think that's one of the things I'm going to try and do with my channel. I'm going to try and do a lot more written content, and then I'm also going to try and get some video content out quite regularly. And last but not least, I'm sure there's a load of other issues, but this is another one that has been brought up quite a lot. The filming industry, the airline industry, the oil industry, shops, pubs, so the sort of public sector related retail stuff, and then the communities of which bring us entertainment in forms of filming, holidays, or oil. It's not really entertainment, it's more of just a thing that we need. So I think, again, that's one of those issues that a lot of people don't know whether the filming can get back into action. I know they have started filming a couple of episodes of a variety of different shows, but they've also cancelled a lot of shows and rescheduled a lot of films that were supposed to go out but obviously aren't able to go out at the moment. Again, airlines, that's probably one of the biggest ones, because a lot of people have probably booked to go on holiday this summer. The summer might not actually be a summer, but at the same time, you've got the specialists and health people saying, actually, if you want to start going on holiday, you can do from the 1st of July. So people are now at a stage where they're sort of like, right, do I cancel my holiday? Do I obviously lose my money? Or luckily for some people, they can get their deposits and their money back. But for others, it's sort of like, or do I just sort of risk it and just go on holiday? Because I think a lot of people are just sort of waiting around, and as soon as people get the green light, if you can go on holiday, they're going to go on holiday. And the problem wouldn't be going out, because they'd be allowed out. It's just a matter of if and when they come back, they would have to go straight into quarantine or isolation for 2 weeks. So if you think hundreds and thousands of people are going to go from England elsewhere, and then when they all come back, they're all going to be in isolation together, if the government actually decides to put that into plan. So yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. The 14 things that I covered, I'll just go through them quickly once again. So number 1, the schools. Number 2, the NHS and the care workers. Number 3, the money for individuals and businesses. Number 4, celebrities. Number 5, the variety of government rules that keep changing. Number 6, TikTok addictions. Number 7, mental health. 8, domestic abuse. 9, old people, children and families. Number 10, the news stories and, what did I say? Coverage, yeah, the news coverage. 11, masks or no masks. 12, students, university, college, etc. and obviously finding jobs. 13, the job losses. And then 14, the filming industry, the airline, oil factory, shops, pubs and everything else. So I usually would say at this point, if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. But I think if you stumbled across this video, don't forget to leave me a message or a comment and just sort of let me know, what are your thoughts on those 14 different categories of things? What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Obviously, this isn't a place to get into arguments with people, and it's not really anything to do with politics. It's more about what the people that are now in power are doing with their platforms, or actually necessarily what they're not doing. So I mean, we're not even going to take a look at America and what Donald Trump is doing or what he's saying, because firstly, not our country, not our problem, and secondly, I feel like he doesn't listen to anybody anyway. So yeah, right, I thought I'd end this video here. Like I said, if you do want to leave a comment or message me on social media, let me know of your opinions on this whole situation, actually what sort of content you'd like to see. Like I said, I'm very, very open-minded. There is a lot of content I'm planning on doing just to sort of not only help myself, because I just want to make sure that I am also staying motivated, but also for people out there that sort of are unsure what to do and unable to make money or unable to do whatever, that they can just see something a bit more positive and a bit more happy and a bit more realistic online than all these people that have the perfect lives. So yeah, I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching, and until then, goodbye.